All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're going to explore something a little bit different.
Oh,
Yeah, we're diving deep into this company. It's called Lifestyle 247365 LLC.
okay.
And get this, we're using two web pages that you, our amazing listener, sent in.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, so the first one, it lists out like all of their services.
Oh, cool.
And then the second one is all about their credit disputing app, which seems pretty interesting.
Sounds intriguing. So what's the game plan? What are we hoping to uncover about this company?
Well, first we want to figure out who they are, right? Like what kind of company offers everything from beauty salons to credit disputing apps.
Haha, right. It's quite a range.
Yeah. And then we'll see if their services, if they actually make sense for you, our listener.
Let's jump in. I'm already curious. Just glancing at this list of services, they've got everything. We're talking beauty salons, NAICS code 812112, graphic design, that's 541430, and 541990, even tax prep, NAICS code 541213.
Oh, wait, hold up. Beauty salons and tax preparation.
Yep.
It's all there. Throws you for a loop, doesn't it?
It kind of does. I mean, who is their target audience with that kind of mix?
Right. That's the big question, isn't it? Are they laser focused on a very specific niche, kind of bundling all these things together for one type of person?
Yeah,
Or are they just taking a shot in the dark, hoping something sticks?
that's a good point. It makes you think, like as a consumer, do you go for the specialist, the
Right.
expert in one thing, or do you prefer that one-stop shop convenience?
Yeah, what's more important to you? Deep expertise or having everything under one roof? I mean, if you've got a really tricky problem, you probably want that specialist.
Definitely.
But for everyday stuff, maybe a bit of this, a bit of that, Lifestyle 247365 might be tempting.
For sure. It really depends on what you need, right? Okay, so they do a little bit of everything. That's clear.
It seems that way.
But what's their overall philosophy? I was looking at their About Us page, and they keep mentioning this power of knowledge thing. Yeah, they're big on empowering people through knowledge, basically. Like, the more you understand, the better choices you can make.
Okay, I can see that, especially when it comes to things like credit scores or taxes.
Right. Those can feel super overwhelming if you don't know what you're doing.
Totally. Speaking of credit scores, let's talk about their credit disputing app. Seems like one of their main things they're pushing.
Before we jump into the app itself, maybe a quick breakdown on credit disputing is in order.
Good idea. Not everyone might be familiar with that.
Right. Basically, it's all about checking your credit report for any mistakes, any inaccuracies. Then you challenge those with the credit bureaus.
Uh-huh.
And if you're successful, it can really boost your score. Think lower interest rates, better credit card offers, even easier to rent an apartment or get a job.
Wow. Okay, so it's about making sure your report's accurate, reflecting your actual financial situation.
Exactly.
Super important. And their app, it promises this seamless process with personalized advice. Sounds pretty good on paper, right?
Sounds great, but you know how marketing goes? Always got to be a bit cautious. Got to ask the tough questions,
Yeah.
like how seamless is this process really? What's their pay-as-you-go model all about? And how does it stack up against, well, traditional credit repair? Those charge a big upfront fee, right?
Yeah, exactly. So is pay-as-you-go truly cheaper? Or are there hidden costs we need to watch out for?
Good question. Traditional, you pay once, they get to work. This one, you're essentially paying for an ongoing service. Less risky maybe at first, but those recurring payments could add up fast, especially if you're not seeing results. We got to compare the two models, see how they actually shake out cost-wise.
Totally agree. And what about this personalized advice? What does that even mean? Like, is it truly tailored to me, my situation, or is it just generic stuff anyone could get?
I was wondering the same thing. And more importantly, who's giving this advice? Certified pros. Or some algorithm spitting out canned responses. Knowing the source matters, right? Makes a difference if it's a real expert looking out for you or just a computer program.
Definitely. It's easy to get swayed by fancy marketing terms, but we got to remember, it's our money, our financial future at stake.
All right, so Lifestyle 247365, a very interesting company, to say the least. They do a little bit of everything, and they're big on empowering people through knowledge. Let's take a deeper look at that credit disputing app now, especially that pay-as-you-go model. Maybe the second web page you sent in can shed some light on things.
Okay, so this pay-as-you-go, right, they're really pushing it as their big thing, especially compared to those traditional credit repair companies.
Yeah, those usually hit you with a big fee up front, right?
Exactly. So this sounds more, accessible.
Right, like you're not committing to as much up front.
But is it really a better deal? That's what we got to figure out.
Well, it feels like everything's moving towards subscriptions these days.
It really does, doesn't it?
Makes you wonder, is this pay-as-you-go just another way to, like, keep people paying even if they're not seeing any results?
Yeah, that's a good point. With traditional credit repair, at least you know what you're paying for upfront. One and done. Right, one and done.
With this, it's like, could be paying forever, and what if nothing changes?
Like a gym membership.
Haha, exactly. You
Yeah.
sign up all gung-ho, but then...
Never go.
Exactly. Money down the drain.
So how do we even compare these two models? Like, how do we know if pay-as-you-go is actually saving us money?
Okay, let's say, hypothetically, a traditional credit repair company charges, like, $500 up front, right? A big chunk of change.
Oof, yeah.
Now, Lifestyle 247, 365, maybe they're charging $25 a month for this app, right?
Okay, so like a subscription fee.
Right. Now, if they can fix your credit issues, let's say within 20 months,
Employment.
you'd break even.
Oh, I see, I see. So it all depends on how long it takes to see results.
Exactly. And is Lifestyle 247, 365 any faster or better than the traditional companies? That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, how can we even know that?
Well, the tricky part is credit repair, it's not a magic bullet, right? No
Yeah.
matter who you go with, there's no guarantee how long it'll take. Depends on your specific issues, how complicated they are, and how quickly those credit bureaus respond. It's a whole process.
So realistic expectations are key here.
Definitely. Don't jump into any pays-as-you-go program without really scrutinizing that fine print.
The fine print.
What are you actually getting for your $25 a month? What happens if you want to quit?
Oh, good point.
Any hidden fees, cancellation charges? Gotta be careful.
This is making me think bigger picture now.
Oh.
Like, is this lifestyle 247-365 with all their different services and this pay-as-you-go thing, is this like the future?
The future of how we pay for services.
Yeah. Are specialized providers like on their way out?
You know, it's interesting. Think about all these platforms, aggregators popping up everywhere.
Like for food delivery, ride shares.
Exactly. Seems like everyone wants that one-stop shop, everything in one place.
It's just easier, right? Life busy enough.
Absolutely. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes you just want that convenience, even if it means, maybe not getting the absolute top expert in that specific field.
So it's convenience over specialization.
That's the trade-off, yeah. But here's another thought.
Yeah.
Maybe Lifestyle 247, 365, even if they're not the best at everything, maybe they can still offer something unique by, like, bundling their services together.
Bundling.
Yeah, like, imagine this. You go there for a haircut, right?
At their salon.
Yep. And while you're there, you hear about their credit disputing app. Think, maybe I'll give that a try. And then, bam, you remember you need help with taxes, too. So you book an appointment with their tax person all in one place.
Oh, I see. Like a one-stop shop experience.
Exactly. You get multiple things done, maybe even get a discount for bundling it all together. Could be appealing.
It's like that old school general store, but for services?
Haha, exactly. And for some people, that's exactly what they want, that relationship with one company that handles it all.
Makes sense, but can they really be good at everything?
That's the question, right? Specialization versus generalization. Do they spread themselves too thin?
And lose that expertise.
Exactly. It's a risk, for sure.
So, a lot to consider here. Potential benefits, but also risks.
Right. Not a simple answer, but that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. We're really exploring a whole new way of thinking about services.
It is fascinating. So, for our listener, what are some key takeaways as they're thinking about lifestyle 247-365?
Well, I think the big takeaway is you got to be a smart consumer.
Right. Do your research.
Exactly. Don't just get sucked in by the convenience factor, Really look under the hood, make sure they can actually do what they promise.
Yeah. No one wants to be disappointed.
Right. It all goes back to that power of knowledge thing Lifestyle 247-365 talks about. But in this case, it's your power, listener. You have the power to choose, but you got to be informed to make the best choice.
Makes sense.
So, my advice, before you jump in with any of their services, especially that credit disputing app with its pay-as-you-go, do your research.
Compared to the traditional options.
Exactly. See how the pricing stacks up. Read those terms and conditions carefully. Look for reviews, testimonials. What are people saying?
Still good point.
And don't be afraid to ask questions about their expertise, how they handle your data, all that stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I think we get overwhelmed with all the choices,
Totally. Information overload.
And we just go for what seems easiest, but taking the time to really understand can save you a lot of trouble down the line.
Absolutely. And remember, Things are always changing. New companies, new ways of doing things. It's constant.
Keeps us on our toes.
It does. Companies like Lifestyle 247 365, they're just one example of what's out there. But by staying curious, asking questions, really thinking critically about these new developments, well, you're not just along for the ride anymore.
You're in control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're shaping the future of how we consume services, basically. It's pretty cool when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. It's easy to feel powerless sometimes, like these big companies just dictate everything.
But you have the power. You just got to use it.
Knowledge is power, right?
That's it. And who knows, maybe this deep dive got you thinking about your own habits, you know?
How we use services, what we really need.
Exactly. Maybe you'll want to reevaluate some things, see if there's a better way. Or maybe you just got a new perspective on this whole thing, how it's all evolving. That's valuable too.
I think that's a great place to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for our listeners, the takeaway is don't just accept things as they are. Be curious, ask questions, and be an active part of this whole evolution of consumer services.
I like that. Be an active part. That's key.
And if you ever come across a company that makes you wonder, what are they all about?
Bring it on.
You know where to find us. We'll be here, ready to dive in and uncover those hidden gems. Until next time.